Hi everyone, if you're watching this video, say hello to me. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Oksana. I am a peer-reviewed published immunology scientist. And over the last decade, we actually spent 16 years studying the immune system. We published in JAMA Surgery and Cancer Letters and Journal of Surgical Research. And I have also been published in 20 other scientific journals, in peer-reviewed journals. And the longer we stayed in research, the more we couldn't ignore one thing, that the entire chronic illness industry is built around suppression, not repair. And nobody was asking why the body is not repairing itself, what we need to do to stop the damage that's being done, and how we can be in the best health possible. Our next client intake is in August. And if you're looking to get help with your health, you can comment or DM apply for more information. In this video, what I want to talk about is why do people say so many different diets help them? And if you've been following us for a while, you actually know that we don't argue about different diets online. And the reason why we don't argue about diets online is not because we don't have opinion. We have 16 years of peer-reviewed immunology research and over 500 documented client outcomes. We don't argue because we have proof. And the proof points to something almost nobody in the diet debate is willing to talk about. Most people got better on any type of diet that they say they got better because of what they not because of what they added to their diet, to their plate, but because of what they finally removed from it. For example, the person who went carnivore and reversed their joint pain, the person who, let's say, they went vegan and they say their skin got better, the person who did keto diet and they will tell you that they lost 40 pounds, they're all telling you they got better, but they almost all wrong about the reason why they got better. So they always tell you the wrong reason why they got better. What all of these diets have in common, it doesn't matter what diet it is. It doesn't matter whether it's AAP, carnivore, or keto diet. Anybody can get better on any diet, not because of what they started eating, but because what they removed. All of these diets have one thing in common. It doesn't matter whether it's carnivore, keto, paleo, they're actually radically different in philosophy, but they share one structural feature that explains nearly all of their short-term results. Every single one of these diets eliminated processed foods, refined sugar, seed oils, and also ultra-processed carbohydrates. That's it, that's the mechanism. The standard Western diet is overloaded with inflammation, especially inflammation coming from vegetable oils or packaged food, while being nearly depleted from the actual real food we need to create healthy cells. So when you remove the junk, regardless of what you replace it with, inflammation often drops, often fast. And the question that never gets asked in any diet arguments is, would you have felt just as good simply cutting out processed food, soda, or packaged snacks without committing entirely to a dietary identity? And in most cases, yes. So most people, they like to argue about their diets. That's why we never do that. Because when you go online, you can find evidence that any type of diet can help you. There's evidence and there's articles about anything. There's going to be articles about why you should eat this diet. So you can find anything online. And people actually married to their diet. People who went carnivore and they say that they cured their IBS or their fatigue very likely had undiagnosed reaction to gluten or maybe sugars or synthetic food additives. It wasn't because they were actually all of a sudden deficient in something that only beef can fix. So the implementation is real, the attribution is almost always wrong. That's why people are not fully healing their body because they're making assumptions why they got better. Okay? They're making assumptions. They assume that everything on their diet gave them health, but it's actually because of one thing they eliminated that they were actually reacting to that help them make improvements in their health. And people naturally credit the entire framework because they feel like, I lost 40 pounds. So they say this whole diet, everything on their diet made them better. And then they defend it online and they intensify, they feel like it's their personal identity. And we don't participate in that because after 16 years studying the immune system at the cellular level, we know that no single dietary label describes what is actually happening in the body. So feeling better short term is not the same as building health long term. We don't care about short term results. When we work with our clients, we care about teaching them how to have short term, not short term results, but long term health. And when our clients follow what we teach them long term, they're actually gonna have long term health. The same thing if you go to my page, Facebook page, and you look at my videos from 10 years ago, you will notice how much my skin was so much worse. I had horrible acne. My hair was really short, and now I have really long hair. So you can see that you can actually achieve long-term health 15 years later if what you're doing is actually working for long term. It's not about having short term results, okay? It's not about just losing weight and then getting heart disease, kidney disease, or cancer because you're so strictly committed and married to this paleo or keto or AAP diet, okay? So that's why the reasons why people say that they got better on certain diet are wrong because they assume everything made them better. But it's actually one thing that they eliminated, removed, that helped them see improvements. But it doesn't mean everything that they're doing is helping them generate health. Okay? So that's why there's so many arguments about different diets online that we don't care to participate because anybody who has a mouth has an opinion. So let's talk about one thing. This is where diet debate becomes dangerous. Short-term relief can be real, but long-term risk is also real, and they're not mutually exclusive. For example, cardiovascular disease. High consumption of saturated fat directly raises LDL cholesterol. It's a primary driver of heart attack and strokes. The British Heart Foundation states clearly diets high in saturated fat and low in fiber raise cholesterol and increase risk of heart attack and strokes. Cancer risk. We are seeing 27-year-olds diagnosed with colon cancer at rates that they have not preceded. Ask any colorectal surgeon. In fact, they're making videos on TikTok and Instagram. All of these surgeons are seeing 20-year-olds with colon cancer. We know bile acids bind. They bind and they stay in contact with colon lining and they promote carcinogenesis and also gut destruction. People who go on these carnivore diets or keto diets, again, the reason why people can get better, people can see improvements in any type of diet because of what they're improved. But we know that carnivore diet provides essentially zero fiber. Without fiber, gut bacteria cannot produce short chain fatty acids, what we need to maintain good healthy colon lining, reduce inflammation, and regulate immune function. Studies show carnivore followers develop dangerous gut dysbiosis. And beneficial bacteria actually collapses while harmful bacteria increases. This weakens the immune system and creates a foundation for long-term chronic illness. Another thing is nutrient deficiency. A 2026 peer-reviewed review published in Nutrients flagged these deficiencies risks in diets like carnivore, like vitamin C, vitamin D, calcium, magnesium, folate, vitamin E. Vitamin C deficiencies cause scurvy. And even singer James Blunt developed scurvy on the carnivore diet that he was doing for 8 weeks. So also in addition to that, there's so many health risks that can happen when people follow these type of diets. So we know that there's zero long-term human studies on the carnivore diet as well. Every existing study, small, short-term, has no control group, and many people who follow it actually tell you that there's long-term risks. So Yale neurologist Dr. Stephen Novella states the theoretical justification for the carnivore diet is highly flawed and there's no empirical evidence to support it. So again, going back to why people say, I got better on vegan diet, I got better on keto diet, I got better on paleo diet, I got better on carnivore diet. It's because what they removed, not because everything that they're eating is helping them have health. In fact, there is no long-term studies on those type of diets. So what actually makes people healthier is what's the same in all these diets. Cutting down processed foods, okay? Eliminating refined sugar, removing ultra-processed carbohydrates. Do this on almost any type of diet and most people will feel better. It is evidence that the standard modern Western diet is actually catastrophic. So, if you've done or if you've eliminated things and you stick and you're still sick, it means other things that you're doing, what's missing, that's still not enough to be able to create long-term health. And that's why it's time to take serious help from serious people, not just what's trending online, not just some random functional doctor who hasn't published publicly at least 500 real client results where people actually getting results rapidly and labs are improving. So we don't promote supplements. A lot of people think that if they're gonna start taking supplements, somehow it's gonna repair their cells. That's not true. Supplements is $1 billion industry. A client that we worked with, she came to us with advanced kidney disease. She saw so many different specialists. She was taking tons of supplements and her kidneys continued to fail. Within 30 days when we worked with us, without a single supplement, her kidney function improved. And her Oxford physicians, they stated that they've never seen kidneys recover so well. These are doctors who every day they work with patients who have kidney failure. So that's a gap between what's published, cellular science already shows and what the wellness industry keeps selling. Is exactly why they keep promoting supplements. Because again, it's like a drug industry. It's $1 billion industry. And so that's why supplements, throwing vitamins or different type of supplements at a cellular system that does not have the precise biological conditions to receive the supplements. It's like pouring premium fuel into a car with a broken engine. We have to fix the engine first, not try to pile up with more supplements because your cells are not working to even be able to uptake the supplements properly. So the supplement industry is not designed to fix the engine. It is designed to keep selling you fuel. Our clients do not get results because of some kind of new supplement. They get results because we stop guessing with supplements entirely and you start working with the body's own immunological system, the ones that we always designed to do the work, and simply needed the right cellular conditions to be able to heal. So that's why people assume that supplements can fix their cells, but it does not, especially if they continue eating things that are creating damage in the body. So that's why we guide our clients through our experience, understanding cellular biology, and help them get the most rapid results in their health, but also educate them on these nutritional myths and answer their questions. So another thing I want to talk about, let me know if you have any questions about this or say hello to me if you're watching this video. Another thing I wanted to talk about in this video, let's see how long it's been already. If you haven't watched my video on about a famous author and what the 1950s drugs can teach us about the life today, I recommend watching it on YouTube. And one other thing that I want to talk about is why chronic inflammation is rising in the last 15 years. So actually genetic researchers, they set out to find what type of DNA changes were responsible for the dramatic rise in all types of chronic diseases in the last 40 to 50 years. And they actually found that there was no DNA changes. What they found is the rise and spread of these diseases exactly mirrors the rise and spread of the Western diet. So these type of diseases are appearing in regions of the world where it was virtually non-existent. Any of these diseases were non-existent before. It actually matches the spread of the processed and inflammatory food patterns. So that's why in regions where people did not eat a lot of processed foods and inflammatory foods are now getting these diseases, including autoimmune diseases. So what this tells us, it's not genetic pattern. In most cases, it's environmental and nutritional problem at the cellular level. So your genes, for most people, they do not cause these chronic diseases. It's the cellular environment of your immune system that it lives in. It's shaped by what you eat. It's shaped by what you observe, and what your cells can process is the ultimate driver. So what we focus on is changing the environment in which your cells are living, and the immune system starts responding differently. So that's one study that's actually been published recently. And you already understand that conventional medicine, especially also the functional medicine model, is built around managing the inflammatory cascade, using medications or supplements to suppress each step of your symptoms. They suppress your symptoms to keep you dependent on it, because the underlying nutrition is actually not being addressed properly. So that's why a lot of people who come to us, they spend $30,000 on different type of promises, but we always tell our clients, before you decide to get help from somebody, ask them to show you proof of at least 500 published public client outcomes and how fast it takes for the clients or patients to see improvements and results in their health before you decide to work with somebody. Because everybody can tell you that they can help you, but how long does it take for people to get better? As well as, do they actually have at least decade of experience and understanding the science behind cellular nutrition before they give you any type of advice, especially when it comes to diet? So that's why when you understand why something works at the cellular level, not just what you've been told to do things. You actually commit differently. A lot of people who work with us, they stop second guessing. They stop going back to things that kept them sick because they understand the science behind it. And that's what we teach them. We don't just tell you what to do, we explain why you're doing it, which is important for you to be able to focus on the thing that work instead of being confused by what's popular and what's trending right now. So, hi Jessica, good to see you. Hi Molly, good to see you. So if you're looking to get help, a client intake opening is in August. You can DM or come and apply, and we'll send you more information how we can work together. And if you have any questions, if there's other things that you've been questioning and that you want us to address in the next video, you can put your questions under this video. You can send them your questions. And most of the things that we write in a newsletter, as well as you can subscribe to a Substack, it's based on the questions that our clients are asking. So typically we send out specific education for our clients almost every week based on the current questions we're getting working with them. So if there's something you're curious about, you can send us an email or send us a message and we'll address it in the next video. Thanks for joining. I hope you have a great weekend.